Now, let's have a look at the limits using examples. In our first example, we are going to consider the situation of an online store, but the principles will be useful for everybody. The situation is as follows. A customer or a hacker buys up absolutely all of your product and then returns them back. As a result, not only do you lose out on potential profits because real customers weren't able to receive their products, but the customers also leave feeling frustrated and unsatisfied, damaging your store loyalty. How can we use business limits to prevent this situation from occurring? One way is to limit the amount that a customer can order, whether in terms of the amount spent or the number of items, to the median average of orders. For example, imagine that the order of the average customer is 20,000 rubles for 5 products. Then a customer suddenly wants to buy 100 products for 1,000,000 rubles. Alarm bells should be ringing. You can display a message to this customer stating that they will be contacted by a wholesale manager. Other things you can do include limiting your refund policy, making user registration obligatory in order to make a purchase, and prohibiting registration via temporary email addresses and phone numbers. Examples of rate limits include limiting registration by forcing users to enter CAPTCHA and limiting the maximum number of orders per client per day. Our second example is about competitors analysis. If you display information about stock balances on your site, then your competitors will be able to use this information to monitor your sales. How can we use business limits to prevent this from happening? We could, for example, choose not to display this information or allow only wholesale customers to access it. Secondly, we can limit the amount of information that can be requested by a user about your products at any one time and log it. An example of a rate limit would be to limit such HTTP requests per hour, per day, per week, or per month. Additionally, you can link the limits to the client session to be able to block such a client. Our final example is about fraud loyalty. Let's say that you're running a promo campaign, something like register now and get $100 free. Potential fraudsters could register multiple accounts and soak up your free giveaways. How could we use business limits to protect ourselves in this case? Disable the use of temporary email addresses and phone numbers when registering an account. Common temporary emails used by fraudsters may end with domains such as @mt2015.com and youpmail.com. Avoid giving away real money by limiting your promotions to vouchers and discounts. If you can't avoid giving away real money, then at least make it possible for the user to withdraw the bonus only after performing certain actions or in some proportion to customers' money. As an example of rate limits, we recommend you to protect your CAPTCHA registration. Don't use your own. It's better to use a ready-made one, such as HCAPTCHA or reCAPTCHA. You should also limit OTP generation to save money on SMS. Let's sum up what we have learnt in this module. Now you know that rate limits should incrementally increase, like an iPhone lock screen. Limits should be linked to the client session, and anonymous users must be limited using a CAPTCHA. All paid integrations for the company should also be limited, and all temporary tokens, vouchers, promotions, and so on should really be temporary. You can use what you have learned here to benefit your company in the following ways. Firstly, reduce your company's expenses by limiting paid integrations. Second, avoid fraud. Third, protect your customers from hackers brute forcing their account passwords. Fourth, prevent spam in comments and in support tickets. And fifth, prevent any damage to your company's reputation. So that's it. What are the next steps? First, download the presentation and check out all the materials in the slide links. Second, if you're watching this video from the learning platform, then you can take the test to check your learning. Finally, take a 5-minute break to think about how you can make your company super safe, following the methods we have learnt. That's a wrap. Now you're ready to move on to the next module. See you there.